It's that time.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Gaining momentum.
Yeah.
Gaining momentum.
Good evening, Everett.
Everett's on? Everett, let's talk this week. How about that?
Sandra Silas, you look sexy, baby.
I mean, you see me good?
I can see you good.
Lights and everything?
Lights and everything.
New digs, y'all.
Woo! Sandra Silas. Hey! Gaining momentum. Come on, baby. It's showtime. Yeah. We're gaining, yeah. Boom.
All right, let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Hear a new sound every day? My rap is good in my neighborhood, and I say it just this way. I say, hi, ho, I'm on. Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. That's old school
I thought
rap.
we were doing Monday Night Sales Mastery.
That's old school rap. I saw a post on Facebook. What music is better, the 80s music or the 90s music?
Oh,
And it's really not a debate. It's 80s.
it's not a debate at all.
It's the 80s.
We get lots of love tonight. Thank you so much. If you think that somebody you know could be assisted by today's broadcast, go ahead and share it to their page. Invite them. Don't forget to comment and subscribe.
All right. It boils down. We're going to talk tonight about you and your ideal client. So it boils down to basically two questions. Two questions is what it boils down to. Question number one is, why should anybody buy into you and your services? Why should anybody buy into you and your services? Now let's say, for the sake of tonight's broadcast, that you were able to come up with great reasons why someone should buy into you and your service. Let's assume that you already have at least 10 fantastic reasons why someone should buy into you and your service. And let's say you have that. You have great reasons why someone should buy into you. Now the question number two is, who is your ideal client? Or what does your ideal client look like? Now, if I was in front of you and I ask you, who would buy your services or who would pay for your services? And if you started your answer to me like anybody
Or everybody.
or everybody, I'm going to tell you now that your answer is incorrect. It's never true that anybody should buy from you. Never. Even if you believe everyone could use your services, that doesn't mean they should all be your clients. You and your personality have to match. I really believe it's much more fit before fee. You have to be the right fit for your potential client.
Okay.
So let's think about this here tonight. We're going to talk about you and your ideal client, because if you will focus on selling to your ideal clients, you can get into what's called high probability selling.
High probability.
High probability selling. That's the first thing we're going to talk about. High probability. I'm not going to write that. Someone else write it. High probability selling.
Somebody write that for us on the page, whether you're on Improve Your Sales Now forum. Thank you, and God bless you for joining us there. And on Brian Keith McNeill's page. Thank you.
You want to sell where you have the highest probability of being successful. For example, I heard my wife did a presentation earlier today, and she had a great analogy. If you're standing in front of an audience talking about your weight loss program, and that audience is much more concerned about your cake, you are operating in what's called low probability selling.
Absolutely. Hey, Jay, thank you for your notes.
To the wrong person. If you're selling what you're selling to someone who doesn't want what you're selling, or is not interested in what you're selling to the wrong audience. And that puts you in low probability selling. So let's think a little bit more about your ideal client. If you can pick them, what does your ideal client look like? If you could design it and then I handed you a list of 100 of them, what kind of characteristics?
The avatar.
What kind of avatar for your ideal client?
Thank you for the likes.
And
High
if you
probability
can't
sale.
do that, you're gonna always be operating in low probability arenas.
So explain what low probability is.
Low probability arenas are when you're selling to someone or to some people that have a low probability of saying yes, a low likelihood of saying yes. For example, if your personality...
Thank you for joining, Andrea. Thank you for sharing, Monique Lisa.
If you want to sell to professional black women, okay, that's who you want to sell to, for example, and you're doing a group presentation, a bunch of elderly white men,
yes,
you are in a low probability arena.
Not so much gonna hit that target audience
because
right
you're
there.
not selling to the right person.
So you could be saying the right thing, doing the right thing.
You could be doing all of the right things.
Okay.
But you're presenting to the wrong people.
Drive that really needs to drive home, I think.
For example, in the 90s, when I first started to become what I call a great salesperson, in 1996, I wrote a book called The 22 Must Closes. 22 ways I thought that every salesperson should know how to ask for the money. Because at the time, in the mid-90s, I assumed, because I wanted to be a great salesperson, I assumed that great salespeople were master closers.
Okay.
That's what I thought. Even though at the same time, I knew it to be true. Who makes more money? Here's the question. Who makes more money? The great sales closer or the great sales prospector? The great sales closer who can close who knows the answers to all the objections, make your move, you dirty prospect, anything you say I have an answer for. Give me an objection, pow. Give me another one, pow. Say something else, pow. You are going to lose because the dumbest client can still eventually find something that you can't overcome.
Andrea Montgomery says, I need that book.
Which book? The 22 Must Closes?
Yes.
Maybe. I got a better book for you, Sister Andrea.
Absolutely.
Because I don't believe that's the case in 2017. The great prospector will only sell to the right people. If you're a great prospector and you spend the majority of your time seeking, prospecting for, setting up your arenas for only the right people and presenting to only the right people, even if you're not a great closer, you're going to sell a whole lot more because you're selling to the right audience.
Doesn't that also lead to less buyer's remorse?
A whole lot less buyer's remorse. What would you rather do? Would you rather, because there's a lot of people, especially people in network marketing industries, they spend a lot of energy trying to introduce you to something and then to convince you that you need it. Versus the champion will be, like if I have fish to sell, I want to find people that are interested in that moment of buying fish. Okay? So I have fish. I know these people want fish. I offer my fish. My probability of being successful is much higher.
It also sounds a lot more biblical.
Yes.
Blessed are you that are willing to sell.
That's Proverbs 26:7. Blessed are those who are willing to sell. And the second part is curses on those who are not. And what they're saying is, blessed is he who is willing to sell like his grain is what they were talking about. Your grain is your stuff.
You're fine.
Your thing. Your intellectual property. If you are willing to sell your stuff, bless it. If you're willing to hold it to yourself, keep it to yourself, curses. Yep. That's how that goes. But let's talk about some stuff that you need to consider. Okay? Let's make a list. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you for the likes. And Teresa, thank you for keeping the list, the information on the screen on Brian Keith McNeill's page. We appreciate that. Improve your sales.
Teresa?
Teresa Jones. She be getting her fill of the empowerment duo,
I love
man.
Teresa. I saw her earlier today. We saw her earlier today.
That's right.
Okay. So, if I ask you, can you still see me on camera?
Yes, darling.
If you had a paper and pen to get the most out of this workshop, and we're going to be very efficient with our time. We only got 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
If I said to you, I want you to make a list of 10 characteristics of your ideal client, and if I put you on the clock with 3 minutes to write down a list of your ideal clients, could you do it? I'm going to encourage you to give it a try. Set up your clock at your home.
All right.
For 3 minutes.
Yep. Thank you for the notes, Teresa said. That's right. Great prospectors sell only to the right people.
Exactly. Now, if you're in Teresa Jones's business, she's today's eating coach.
Yes, she is.
Her ideal prospects are people who want to adopt a healthier eating lifestyle.
People who are transitioning to a healthier lifestyle. As her book.
But not only that, but the people who are willing to research on how to eat better, people who ask questions on how to eat better, people who watch shows about that, people who look on YouTube videos about eating better. Those are the right people for it. Consider this. Would you rather create a fire, build a fire, or fan an existing flame? That's the difference. You're either going to build a fire, and there's room for both, but one is a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Build a fire from 2 sticks. Okay. Have you seen the movie Castaway?
Jesus.
The movie Castaway, he was hungry. Tom Hanks' character was hungry, and he couldn't figure out how to get food, and finally he found some crabs, and he was able to effectively catch the crab. And he was so hungry that he caught the crab and he busted open with a rock and tried to eat it, and it was goo, and it just, I can't eat that. Try to eat a crab raw, even if you're hungry, you can't eat it.
Nobody wants raw crab.
So he needed to cook it, but he needed to have fire. So he gathered some dry leaves together, and he got some sticks, and he got it on a flat rock, and he was working up a sweat, and he was working. And he tried and failed and tried and failed, and finally he got a spark. As soon as he got a spark, he started blowing it and fanning some wind on it so that spark could catch the other leaves, and then he got a fire.
Jesus.
Once he got that fire going, his whole life was to keep the fire going.
Exactly.
So he caught a crab, and he was able to cook the crab, and he was able to eat well. Now that he has a fire, when he catch a fish, he could cook the fish. Try to catch a fish and eat the fish raw. You'll get sick. But if you effectively can cook the fish, right? Fan the existing flame. So hopefully some of you guys have been taking up the mantle. So one thing your ideal client must have is they must have an ability to pay for your services.
Very important.
Ability to pay. I'm going to write that down. Ability to pay. Note, I did not put a net worth. They don't have to be worth $100,000 or $50,000. It does none of my business, and none of yours is how much money they actually make. What you should only concern yourself with is, can they pay for your services?
Right.
The reason why it doesn't matter how much money they make, and only matters if they have an ability to pay for your services, is because people find the money for what they want.
Yes, they do.
Imagine a lady who goes to the mall, and she's walking through a department store, and she sees some sexy boots that she wants. And the boots have an $800 price tag on it. And she knows there's no way she can afford those $800 for those sexy boots, but she wants them. She wants them. She could have no money in her bank account, $10 to her name. She sees these $800 boots that she really wants. She knows she cannot afford that. So she's going through the mall, and she sees those boots, $800 a couple of times. And then one day she goes to the mall and sees that those boots have been marked down to $300.
What you say?
And she notices that they have 2 left in her size. Now, she has $10 in her pocket. Those $800 boots were marked down to $300. She can effectively find the money for something that she wants. People always find the money for what they want, which is another key too. If people want what you have, they will scratch around and find the money for it. Money is an idea. People always have the money for what they want. By the way, a personal philosophy that helps me is when someone says, I can't afford you.
Teresa said, glory. Thank you for joining Sammy Robinson.
If people say to me, I can't afford you, or I don't have the money for your services, I think it's healthier for you. This is a secret. I almost never believe them. I almost never believe them as a philosophy, because I know that in poor neighborhoods on Saturday mornings, there's a line outside the store to get new Jordans. I know people find money for what they want. So when someone says, I can't afford you, I choose to not believe it. That makes me believe they don't want what I have enough yet to find the money. Even if they absolutely don't have the money today, today's not the end of the game. They might have it next week.
Right.
Which is fine, next
Right.
2 weeks,
Absolutely.
a month. Lisa, how much money have you made from people who've contacted you from a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
Me too, a year ago.
Yep.
Or 2 years ago even. Has it ever happened to you?
Absolutely.
2 years
2 years
ago?
later. Yes.
2 years later, because they wanted it and they found the money for it. So I choose to only accept that people find the money for what they want, and I believe that's a healthy philosophy for you to adopt.
Absolutely.
So first off, your ideal client must have an ability to pay, even if they're really, really nice. If they won't find an ability to pay for it, they are not your ideal client. Now, just think about it. You sell your stuff to real people.
Yes.
Even if you sell stuff to companies, a person at that company has to be the one to say yes to you. So you only sell to people, real live people with their own collections of thoughts, their own collection of realities, their own collection of prejudices. You sell to a person, right?
Yes.
So think about you and your service, your ideal client. Is there an age range that works for you? An age range. What age range do you prefer to work? I like working with clients over 35 myself. I will work with someone 25 and 20, sure. But I prefer over 35, even over 40.
Absolutely.
That age range for me, life has taught them enough lessons where they understand the value of getting quality help for what they do. So I prefer an age range. But let's say your business, you might prefer someone over 60. Or you might prefer someone that's a professional athlete. If you're a physiologist, they want to prepare for the next level, you might want someone 15 to 25. Think about the age range of your ideal client. Consider geography. Geography. Do you prefer a client to be local to you? Do you prefer a client to not be local to you? Is your business best done online? Even if you don't have to have them local, I think there's value in picking an area that you want to work. For example, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I have a great client in Chicago, Illinois. Now, I might want to consider marketing to Chicago, Illinois, even though I live here. But what I don't want to do is scattershot myself to work everywhere. I'm going to be in Columbia.
Right.
I want to figure out Columbia. The value of sticking to one area at a time is you learn the area. You take on one of my traits called the farming trait. You want to work with people in just that area or just that industry. Okay, consider that. That's the next one. Industry. What businesses typically do you like to sell to or have a high probability of selling to? Let's say, for example, you are, what do you call a person that help you dress? An image consultant.
A stylist.
A stylist, an image consultant. You might want to play in the executive arena. Work with people that are executive levels that have to speak in public or that have to be in public a lot or have to do presentations a lot because they have to look their best a lot of times.
Right.
So, and someone very public, a judge, for example, might be a good client for you. An attorney might be a good client for you. Think about the industries that you want to work with. What else might be important to you? Ability to pay, age range, geography, industry. Consider this too. For example, my wife and me, it's very hard for us to do presentations or to talk to people without at some point invoking God.
Absolutely.
We just do. Okay? And when I watch myself being interviewed on videos, I'm always surprised at how often I say, well, praise God or thank God or scripture
Amen,
or amen.
something.
It's because it's part of my vernacular and it's important to me and I have a right to what I like. And you have a right to what you like. So if their faith might be important to you. So if that's important to you, put that on your criteria of an ideal client.
So at this point, you really should be shaping a picture, like a physical picture picture
Yes.
of the person that you want to attract.
That's right. You know, it's hard to find something that you don't know what you're looking for.
That's good. I think that's really good.
If I go into my pockets...
We got a lot of likes on that.
If I go in my pockets now to take out my keys, for example, and I take out my keys and some change fall on the floor, and I look around for the change, say I have 35 cents in my pocket, I find the dime, and I don't know where the quarter rolled, okay? But the light's not good in here. But the light's much better in that other room. So I'm going to go over there where the light is to look for my quarter.
Huh?
You're in the wrong area.
Wow.
Okay? Your quarter's here. Even if you can't find it well, you know it's here someplace.
Right.
So keep looking in the places where you have the highest probability of being successful. Right?
Wow.
Matthew 7:7 says, "Seek and ye shall find." There's no lack in that. If you look, you will find.
Absolutely. I like that.
Think about someone, now myself, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
I am a nice guy now. But when I was 15, I was not always nice. And the guys I hung out with, we were kind of ruffians too. So sometimes we left our home area to get on a train and to look for trouble.
Guess what you found every time?
Or every time we looked to start a fight, we wanted some trouble. When you're looking for trouble, guess what you find? Trouble. When you are looking for, here's another thing. I used to tell my salespeople, and half the salespeople would get it and half of them would not get it. And I was at the point where I didn't want to explain it to the people who didn't get it. Okay?
I can understand. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
Right. And I would say to them, if some guys give me lame objections like, Brian, I keep running into people who don't have any money to buy my stuff. I was like, well, stop presenting to them, okay? Stop presenting to people that don't have money for your stuff. I keep getting to people who don't want to buy. Okay, go find some people that do want to buy. And half of them would kind of get it, and the other half wouldn't get. What is he talking about?
They would get frustrated.
Yeah. And I was at the point where, well, fine, that's it.
Be frustrated.
Yeah, I didn't want to explain it no more. Go find people that could buy. Okay, stop looking. They were looking for people not to buy.
Wow.
They were doing it unwittingly, but they let a few negative occurrences add up. And here's another thing I used to tell my salespeople, and if you're doing this, stop doing this. Keeping negative stats, keeping them as if they're important or precious. Let's see how many times someone didn't buy from me. That's a negative stat that does not serve you. It doesn't matter how many people that don't buy. It only matters the one that do.
And when you hold on to that, then you'll continually try to prove yourself right.
You'll continue to prove yourself right, and you will attract into your world more and more of the opposite of what you want.
7 minutes, bro.
You kidding me?
Not kidding you.
Oh my God. 7 minutes to go?
7 minutes.
Are you kidding me? Every week?
Every week.
Oh my God.
30 minutes go so fast. We got a lot of likes. Thank you for joining, Darlene. I love you, love you. Keep it going. Teresa's laughing.
If anyone has found value in the first 23 minutes of this broadcast, please say something that you found valuable so far.
Absolutely.
I haven't covered Jack yet, really. But I hope someone found
I think you have. I think you really have. I think what's important is that if we begin to shape who it is that we are for,
yes,
we will know what they look like when we see them. They will be naturally attracted to us, and we will also know where to look for them.
Yes.
So that you're not looking for a shimmering pool in the desert.
That's right.
Expectation is powerful, Sabrina noted on there. Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you, Sabrina. Which Sabrina is that?
Sturgis Huff.
Sabrina, I love Sabrina. Ability to pay, age range, geography, industry, faith.
Katrina Reese said, I like that. Everett Smith, great info. Thank you for your comments. We
Katrina Reese, how you
appreciate the
doing?
feedback.
Think about this too. I had a great conversation earlier. Some people sell better to or prefer selling to one gender over another.
Teresa Jones, negative stats need to be let go.
gender. Consider gender.
That's what I thought you were going to mention earlier about me, because I do consider gender.
Yes, my wife much prefers working with women. Although she will help a man.
Women over 40.
It's just not her thing, right? Same thing, you know, I had a conversation with Rochelle Togofiga today and Kat Crachado. We were having a conversation.
Two great people.
And what I told them was, because my wife and I work together so closely, there are a lot of arenas where I'm one of few men. And sometimes I'm even the only man in the room. However, even though I prefer to have more men than just me, I could go a year or longer and only present to women audiences, because it seems like the women audiences are more willing to accept help.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Bill Brown says, know what you are looking for. Yes, Bill. And Bill, we have to follow up with you. We'll do that later.
Now, everyone that's on this broadcast, Bill just kind of remind me of this.
Andrea Montgomery says, Rochelle is awesome. Yes, she is.
This here exercise, 10 characteristics of your ideal client, is something that you should revisit more than once. Do it within 3 minutes and then kind of analyze it a little bit. And then do it again in a month, and do it again a month after that. Because what happens is, you don't live in a vacuum. You're taking in new information every day. You're getting better and better. You're getting smarter and smarter. And what you want changes.
And who you want will begin to crystallize, and you'll be able to see clearly.
And your list will get better and better. How much time do I have?
You have 4 minutes, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Ability to pay, age range, geography, industry, faith, gender. There's a few things here I really, really like to look at. Age range and gender, that matters a lot to me.
Me too.
An ideal client, interested.
How about that? Need what you got.
Interested.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say interested, I'm going to put need on another line. For example, if someone's house is on fire and I'm selling fire extinguishers, they need it.
Yeah, that's
they don't
pretty
care
good.
as much.
That's a pretty high likely sale.
That's very high probability. However, if someone is kind of interested in...
gender status may be necessary. That's right, Teresa.
Yes. Let's say for someone has an interest in yoga. Okay? Just interested in it. They're curious about it. Now, to me, interest is a small flame. Small flame.
But it's not a wet blanket.
It's not a wet blanket, but this is a small flame that you can ignite.
Exactly.
You can ignite interest. Okay? If they have a need, that's another thing too. I like people who've had an experience in what I do. I'm a coach. Okay? Now, one of my favorite questions to ask, and other coaches on here might want to ask people, have you ever worked with a coach before? Either answer, yes or no, helps you.
Yes.
Either answer helps you. How am I doing on time?
You have 3 minutes.
All right. My name is still Brian Keith McNeill. I am the author. Now, someone said earlier they wish they had the book, The 22 Must Closes, and I only said maybe. I didn't enthusiastically say you need that book, because I don't think you need 22 closes now. I think you need about 2.
Sabrina says, 10 characteristics of my ideal client. My list is too broad. Maybe.
She can, we'd be willing to help her, and sometimes she needs more than just her set of eyes.
That's absolutely
to look at that. But I want to talk about Asking for the Money. This happened to be the first book of mine that I picked up. I've written 4 books, okay? 5 books, excuse me. Asking for the Money, How Anyone Can Close More Sales, Even You. And in this book, it espouses only 2 closes that you need. But much more of it is a system of how to overcome objections, when you should overcome the objections. It talks about beating a dead horse. It also talks about how we unwittingly frustrate clients.
Absolutely.
People that offer services, so often they frustrate a client. Here's how they typically frustrate their potential clients.
2 minutes.
They pull up, they discover all the needs that they talk about, they bring up all this stuff that they do, and then they don't ask for the business.
Yep.
And then they leave the client's presence. And what happens is you basically have made fun of their bad situation and didn't help them. So asking for the money is important.
Now, Andrea, I think you already have the shortcut, and I do believe that asking for the money would be an ideal. Andrea Montgomery, I think she has the shortcut already.
Okay.
But asking for the money is a great companion to that.
And the shortcut, I always recommend this book first, because this book within about a month's time If you will get this book and do what it says do, in a month from now, you'll make more money than you do right now. Now, I'm going to put my phone number up here.
This exercise is in that book as well.
Yes, this exercise is in that book as well, plus 2 more.
Absolutely.
My number is up here. I hope everyone can read my number. It's 919-345-4893. I'm still old school enough that I prefer a phone call. If you will have the courage to call me, you and I will get what's called a free phone consultation. A free phone consultation, and I know within about 15 to 20 minutes time, I can bless you. My name is Brian McNeill. I do this every Monday night Sales Mastery, offering you something that I believe can help you right away. How we doing?
You're out of time.
All right, so sign me off. Help me to sign off, baby.
We appreciate you joining us tonight. We are signing off, and tune into I Am Lisa Santiago's page in 1 minute. For woman to woman, Teresa Jones. This is really great. Every time I hear something, I learn something new and important. Thank you. And you rocked the house today at the networking event. Catrice says thank you. Woo!